Hey guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. And today we're going to talk about controversial subject matter for some of you. And before we begin, I just want to put this disclaimer out there. I am a huge fan of limited run games. I buy a lot of their releases. I have a lot of their products in my own personal collection. And I encourage you, if you are a video game enthusiast, if you are a video game collector, if you are a video game connoisseur, and you do want physical versions of a lot of these games that have been released digital only, Limited Run Games makes a spectacular product. The problem that I have is the mindset of a lot of the speculators and unsophisticated investors that are going after these products. You know, what really came to a head for me is I was able to pre-order something like, I think it was 3 or 4 copies of Doom 64 for the Nintendo Switch that was produced by Limited Run Games. And they sent me the order, and I think I got 2 different orders from them because I use either my business account for some of the order purchases that I make through them, and I also put some of the purchases that I buy from them in my particular name, meaning my real name, Sean. And as a result, I ended up with 3 or 4 copies of this game. Well, immediately when I got that particular game, they were selling on eBay for about $100 a piece. Now, I pre-ordered these games. I think I paid something like $30 a piece for my copies of Doom 64. So naturally, when I saw that they were going for $100, I flipped them into the secondary market on eBay and made the easy profit. Now, why did I do that? Because I also knew that in most cases, that game was going to be available for purchase further down the line at Best Buy. And I was 100% correct because I just went to my local Best Buy today and I was able to buy 2 copies of Doom 64 right off the store shelf for $24.99 a piece. Now, this is very important, guys, because I want to make you aware of something. A lot of you guys are seeing the name Limited Run Games, and you're assuming that means it's going to be limited, and limited run equates to value and scarcity in the overall antiques and collectibles trade. Now, I have already talked until I was blue in the face on this channel about the differences between mass-produced scarcity and that of organic collectability. And if you don't know this concept by now, please go back. I did a 40-minute video just diving into this concept as it applies to limited run games. I also did a follow-up video when, if you guys remember, Revenge of the Bird King became a thing, where a lot of hype-driven YouTubers were pretty much pushing this particular inferior game because it had a limited release in physical form and everybody thought it was going to be investable and it was going to become the next stadium events. And I did a video where I was laughing at all these people because I said it can't be the next big stadium events because it does not have organic collectability. Revenge of the Bird King. If you don't understand what happened, what transpired in regards to that release, that is a prime example of mass-produced scarcity, which, centering this back to limited run games, all of these games that you see made available on their website that you can order, some of them are later available at Best Buy stores. All these products have an element of mass-produced scarcity to them. Now, I want to be very clear here. That doesn't mean you can't make money on these particular items. What it means, over the long term, in most cases, most of the games that are produced by Limited Run Games, by Super Rare Games, by Play Asia exclusives, by any of these companies that are making these products in limited quantities, readily available for collectors, video game enthusiasts to go fight over at present time, most of those items will not be valuable over the long term. And this is something that I really want to talk about because if you log on to Limited Run Games right now, you're going to get a plethora of excellent products to choose from. The company brought back Zombies Ate My Neighbors and Ghoul Patrol, which were very interesting games when they prepared on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis back in the 1990s. They're also even doing a limited run retro bit version of Mega Man The Wily Wars. They're doing other spectacular releases. But what's really catching my mind is if you look at a game like Castlevania, the Anniversary Collection, and if you look at how many different versions they have up for pre-order at present time, they have the standard edition for $34.99. Then they have the ultimate edition for $174.99. Then they have the classic edition for $59.99. Then they have the Bloodlines edition for $59.99. And there's people that are reaching out to me asking me, Sean, I'm going to buy all four because that version that's selling for $174.99 at present time, well, they're probably not going to make too many of them. And down the line, 5 to 10 years from now, people are going to want that version because there's going to be that less in the overall marketplace. I want to warn you guys, this is very speculative and this is very hype driven. You are better off if you are investing in limited run games. If you want to invest in this stuff over the short term, just go after a couple of releases that you know are going to be popular. Maybe buy 1 or 2 copies. Don't worry about going after a lot of these higher end limited editions. You know, if you go on their website right now, you're going to see they're making Super NES cartridges for Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Ghoul Patrol, even Sega Genesis cartridges for Zombies Ate My Neighbors in a cool green colored case. They're doing a lot of mega bundles. They're doing all these interesting releases. And this is where I caution you guys. A lot of this stuff is going to be forgotten 5, 10 years from now. And if you want proof, limited run games came on the scene in 2015. If you go back and you look at what a first edition copy of Saturday Morning RPG, which was one of their very first releases, I think for the PlayStation 4 back in 2015, and you look what the value of that particular item is, brand new, factory sealed, selling on eBay, if you would have put your money in 2015 in an S&P 500 index fund, the amount of money that you would have paid for that game, you would have more today than actually holding a factory sealed copy of that game in the year 2021. And this is somebody that nobody wants to talk about. This is something that is considered so controversial for the Timmys, Kimmys, and Poindexters out there. They don't seem to realize the risk of investing in this market long term. Just because a company is making a limited edition release does not equate to value and scarcity on the secondary market in the overall antiques and collectibles trade over the long term. You are better off speculating over the short term with a lot of these releases rather than attempting to keep them for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, thinking that you're going to put your kids through college by buying a lot of these releases and holding them factory sealed. This is the same concept that collectors did not learn from back during the 1990s holofoil comic book boom, even during the 1980s junk wax era of sports cards. It is just being polished, rebranded, and refocused towards video game collectors. So I hope this video served you well. There is going to be a follow-up to this video, I assure you, because full disclosure, I spend a lot of money on limited run video games. I love the products, but I would never spend $174.99 on the Castlevania Anniversary Collection Ultimate Edition when I could get the standard release for $34.99. There is actually no point in spending that kind of money on a lot of these items. So again, I know this is a controversial video for some of you out there. I know there are people that literally spend thousands of dollars per month on limited run games. And I think it is insane at this point. Don't get me wrong. Again, the wonderful company known as Limited Run makes a lot of these products and they are spectacular. But again, guys, it is foolish to want to own all of these particular different versions. It is foolish to attempt to invest in them over the short term and over the long term. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your comments are in the comment section below.